everyone. I hope you're having a great evening. It is Tracy coming to you live from Golden Dog Adventure Company headquarters. And tonight is our member livecast. We are actually talking with 10 of our members and partners tonight about their experiences with membership and over the last year. This is in preparation for our membership opening again on March 20th. We open 4 times a year for 10 days each time, because when we close in between, we like to work with our members on our curriculum, make sure that they get acclimated to the membership and are able to take advantage of all the benefits they can versus us constantly selling our membership. That's why it's so important for us to just have that time with them. So my first guest tonight is Tracy and Echo. You can see Echo bobbing up and down there. Tracy, tell us a little bit about Echo.
Echo's 3.5-year-old standard poodle. I got him from a breeder. He's my third standard poodle and my first male dog ever. So that brought some new experiences.
I can imagine.
Yeah. And he's great. He's the best trained dog I've had. He's a little reactive. We are working on that. Don't know if it's a male thing or something else.
Well, and I know you've been a member for a while. Do you remember back before you joined, what was your deciding factor for joining our membership?
That it was a fairly controlled environment, because I started experiencing reactivity with him right before he turned 2. COVID hit at the same time, and I noticed he would bark and lunge, and so when I was out walking on trails, people just wanted to extend their leashes to us, or, I just really appreciate more of a controlled environment. And the club offers that. When I was reading the guidelines, 6-foot leash-ish. There was like smart things put in place. Don't extend your leash to a dog if it's not if they're not inviting it. So that's really what I was looking for. And I do enjoy group walks. So it just seemed to be a really good fit.
Well, and you've really taken advantage of a lot of our different events, from sensory exploration at the mall at Fox Run with Barrington Barks and Behavior to walks, to hikes, you were one of the people who crossed, almost the entire state to go to Enfield with us when we found that little gem of a pond out there to go swimming. Those few troopers that we had there. That was a great day.
Yeah, that was fun. And it was a little gem, and I do hope to go back there.
Yeah, we won't tell anybody. It's our secret.
Yeah.
So, well, tell us now that you said that Echo does have some reactivity. How have you found our events as far as being safe and welcoming and really giving you, kind of that? I know you said controlled environment. I appreciate that. But how have you felt in the different environments? Because I know one of the conversations we've had is you have a fear, as do I, when I'm walking my reactive dog, of unleashed dogs. Tell us a little bit about, how we've been able to help alleviate some of those fears.
Well, specifically on the Enfield walk, when the giant Malamute came just prancing up to us when we were leaving, there's other friendly dogs for that dog to greet, to try to get the attention off of us and give me time to get behind a tree or something. And then Ray just reached out, grabbed the collar. The owners had no recall at all with that dog. So I do appreciate that factor, having a lot of other friendly dogs around, that if an off-leash dog comes around, these dogs are willing to step up for us.
Yeah, and it's pretty common that we found that, don't you think? Some off-leash dogs. Yeah.
And we blend in better than just being the one dog for them to focus on. And then the advocacy, I'm usually in the back. But to have, people telling the off-leash dog people, please leash your dog. There's a reactive dog in the group. By the time they get to us, it's well known, and there is no extending the leash to my dog. They just try to get away. So I appreciate, having advocates for me, for us.
Yeah, I know, just to explain a little bit about our situation. So we have a lead guide, an adventure guide in the front. We have a guide in the rear of the pack. And depending on our numbers, we'll have a middle guide as well. So that there's that communication back between the guides if a unleashed dog does get by our lead adventure guide. But we've had even, I don't know, were you at the castle walk in Haverhill?
No.
Okay, we had a
Winnie
puppy.
Kitty.
Yeah, we had a puppy who was like, woohoo! Run through the pack, but I remember Nick was actually able to catch him. And, we were able to talk with those owners and get that puppy leashed up. But yeah, there's a lot of education that happens on the part of dog owners with unleashed dogs and just better understanding the safety concerns, with having your dogs off leash, especially during hunting season. It's a big risk. So. But I want to show some of my favorite pictures of you and Echo, if you're open to that.
Sure.
I'm going to share my screen here.
And Ray is a fantastic photographer.
Well, he upgraded his equipment recently, and he is able to capture some nice pictures. And not all of these are great. Some of these are before the camera, and some of them are after. But I love these different ones here. We've got you with Echo at the Newburyport Rail Trail. You came down that day, and that was very much an urban area. How did you feel? Were you comfortable in that space with him, knowing that he's reactive?
Yeah, it was a nice wide trail. You give really great trail descriptions, so you kind of know what to expect before you get there. There was a couple times I had a ping pong just to avoid something strange like a skateboard or something, but there was plenty of room for us to get off the trail, change direction. It was really cool. As you can see, we're practicing parkour.
Yes. Yeah, you guys were having a blast. I saw smiles on both your faces.
Yeah.
And I know the other one there where you have the tie-dye shirt on, that was Little Harbor Loop in Portsmouth, and we had a picnic after. And
Yeah.
I mean, you're standing there, he's quite comfortable in that space. And as I recall, you were in pretty close proximity to other dogs at that time.
Yeah. It's unpredictable, but yes, if he sees other dogs that are in control, he's pretty much okay. Yeah, we sat around and picnicked, and there was no issues.
That's good. Well, and what has been your favorite event so far, would you say?
My favorite event, I like the local ones because I don't have to drive far. But I do like exploring and like the Little Harbor Loop. I had never heard of that. I had driven right by, between Portsmouth and Hampton many times. I didn't know that existed. So that was really fun. I like to get out on the coast. The Hampton Beach, the full moon hike, that was really nice as well.
Yep.
And of course,
you've done both sensory ones at the mall, I believe, right?
And yep, we did that. But and the meadery.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That had a huge property for us to spread out and explore, and the owners really seemed to take care of us at the end with the food truck and the mead samples.
Well, what was nice about that venue is we worked with them to establish visual barriers so that reactive dogs could come and feel comfortable and not have that direct connection with the other dogs. So we used barrels and we used hay bales, and that seemed to make a nice, comfortable setting because the dogs were, their view was protected, but you were able to still see the other people there and communicate. And I think we probably had about 5 other people in that situation at that time, as I recall.
And with the reactivity, it is mostly the visual. There's something about the staring down. So I'm learning more about reading body language, but there's certain breeds that I just know he's going to react to. And because I learned like herding breeds, they stare. So it's the visual. He doesn't mind smelling them, hearing them. That doesn't set him off. It's if he's stared at, I think, that he's not confident. I need to build his confidence.
Yeah, that's what I find with my dog as well. So, and I think when she's visually staring with another dog, she gets very anxious, but she can walk next to them, she can sniff next to them. She's been comfortable walking next to Echo. We've had a lot of success with that as well. So,
Yeah,
Tracy, you've been awesome. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story with us. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing
you're
you at the next
welcome.
event.
Yep, thank you.
All right, take care.
You too.
So next I have Kate with us, and she is mom to Gus. Kate is one of our adventure guides as well. She's actually been with our company for a couple of years, and she met her new furry canine friend at one of our events, which was the let's see, that was the what was it? It was the corn maze
It was the
Halloween
corn
party
maze.
in corn maze.
Yeah,
Mary's dogs was there, and they had Gus with them, and you fell in love. Tell us a
I
little bit
did.
about that story.
I did. Yeah, he's in the back seat. We are in the car as I took him today because it was gorgeous for a nice long walk, and
Yes.
we lost ourselves a little bit. And so we are in the car. You can see him behind me.
Yeah, I
Um,
do. Yeah.
yeah, because I have treats. Um, Gus, yeah, so I was working the event, the corn maze event, which was such a fun day for I think everybody, but definitely all the dogs seemed to be loving it. And Mary's dogs had brought Gus. He was so shy that they had to carry him out of the car to the to the setup that they had because he was so nervous around so many people and in such a group. But my table, I was working at the raffle table. Our table was right next to the Mary's Dogs table, and just throughout the day, he just kept inching his way. And by the afternoon, he was at my table instead. And I think Kelly just kind of jokingly handed me the leash and
I
said,
think
"Why
he
don't
was
you guys?"
trying to tell you something like you're my person and I've chosen
He
you.
He was, and I have had dogs all my life, but I hadn't had them in several years. We had lost our dogs, both of our dogs, in 2015 or 2016, and just hadn't felt ready, and we were just trying to figure that out. And he just kind of said, "It's time to get a dog." So we I did let him go back to the rescue that night so that I could go home and get some food and dishes and things like that together.
Yes,
But we
Mary.
picked him up the next day from Mary's dog. So,
Well,
and
now
I've always
considering how shy he was initially, I mean, he's really warmed up and opened up, would you say?
He has very much warmed up. I actually had a training Zoom today with your next guest, and was saying how far he's come in just 5 months. We just did the holdover rail trail, the whole paved part of that. He met other
Yes.
dogs. He met other people. He's still a little. He didn't love people on bicycle. Bicycles seem to be weird to him, but he's doing great with it, and doing really good. When I did first bring him home, he was like velcroed to my leg, and I couldn't go anywhere without him. And today, when I was talking to Laura, I was in one room, he was sleeping in the sun in another room, just really wonderful. He's keeping an eye on us
That's
over my shoulder.
great. Oh, I love to hear that. Well, tell
Yeah.
me how your experience has been both as a member uh, of the group and also as an adventure guide, because you're kind of coming to it from two different ways.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, I've worked for Tracy in some capacity for 2 years now, 2.5 years now, um, pet sitting, and then transitioned to being an adventure guide, which is so much fun. Even before I had a dog of my own, it's just so much fun. I always say to Tracy, like, as an employee, like, I can't believe I'm getting paid to just like walk in the pretty woods with cute dogs. Like, it's amazing. Um, and so I love that. I love meeting the other members and their dogs and getting to see how they all work together. And we have such a great membership that really becomes so friendly with each other, and the dogs know each other and the people know each other. It's just so fun to be part of that. And in terms of the guide, like, it's fun to get to be providing the knowledge and being there to help people. But I do also really love being a member. So for the events that I'm not working at, I know I've got Gus and I registered for the parkour one, which
Oh,
I'm
that's
not
right.
working at. I'm just coming to it as a member.
Yep, with
And
Red
I
Pony Dog.
Yep, and that was that being able to do that is so much fun. I did the same thing with my daughter, and I brought him to the reindeer games training event. And he's a dog that loves training. Like, he likes to be guided and directed, and I think it helps with his like anxiety and not knowing what to do. He's to him, he really likes somebody telling him what to do. So he just loved that, and it was so fun to experience from the member side as well.
Well, and it's neat that you said the parkour, doggy parkour, coming up with Red Pointy Dog. That is a very popular one, and we rolled out those tickets recently. It's not even happening till April. We rolled it out to members, and all the tickets sold out in less than 24 hours. It didn't even reach the community. And I know that's one of the things that we're going to find here as we grow and add new members, is that less and less of our events will actually make it to the community's eyes. I did actually go back to Red Pointy Dog and told them how quickly the tickets sold out, and they graciously put together a second doggy parkour, which is happening that afternoon, fortunately. And those tickets are just about gone, and I don't expect that they will make it to the community either. So I'm glad that you were able to take advantage of that. But I know as we grow here, that's one of the things that we're going to find, is that there'll be less and less events available to the community, because they just, we have to focus on our members first. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that you're a member as well. And when you're not working, you can take advantage of some of those fun events.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I love it. Gus loves it. He loves the interaction. He loves getting, like, for a dog that was so nervous at the beginning, he's not what I would classify as reactive. He's just cautious. And but to see him really be able to open up and really like truly play. We joked at the beginning that he didn't know how to be a dog, and he lives with 4 cats, so I think he thinks he's a
Part
cat.
cat, part dog.
He's pretty sure he's a cat. But to see him really get into it and really enjoy it, it's just so fun.
Well, do you mind if I share some of my favorite pictures of you and Gus?
No, go right ahead.
So we've got a few here. So
Oh yeah. Oh,
we've
and Ellie,
got Kate on
my
the
daughter
left
Ellie
with
too.
her daughter, and this is when you were leading your first event. It was our Owl Prowl with nature education opportunities. And then let's see, you've got Gus here. That was the Dairy Rail Trail, and that was our Saturday Super Bowl party, as I remember. And then Gus is at Reindeer Games.
That was when I learned that he liked parkour so much, because he wouldn't stop hopping up and down off those boulders. So that's when I was like, we gotta do this.
Fun.
Yeah, Reindeer Games.
And then the one all the way on the right was his actual picture the day you met him.
Yes. Yeah.
So that was adoption day.
Yes. He was so much smaller then. He was wearing a way too big sweatshirt because it got chilly, but we've treated him into putting on some weight. And he was 5 or 6 months then, and he's definitely filled out as he's grown up.
Well, and how old is he now?
Probably 9 or 10-ish months. It's kind of a ballpark. So in October they said he was 5 to 6 months. We're saying if he was 6-ish months, October 26th, we're pretending his birthday is April 26th, but we don't, somewhere in that ballpark.
Very nice. Well, anything more that you want to say about, what the excitement you're feeling about the future of the company, the new reveal of the company name and the brand, and just, where we're going for the future?
Yeah, I mean, I love it so much. I have the it's so fun for me, because I've seen it grow even over the last 2 years, from an opportunity to raise charitable money and to just kind of get the name out, to really its own standalone thing that everybody has so much fun with. As both an employee and a member, it is kind of fun, because I know what's coming, I know what's on the schedule. I put that little previews. And I love the new name. I love the new logo. I love Dakota's little nose in that logo so much. And so I'm just real excited to be part of it, and to continue on, and to, do all of the fun stuff. I think this is going to be a really fun summer and fall, with so many more guides and so many more opportunities. So
awesome. Well, Kate, I really appreciate you coming on and telling your story, and
you and
Gus enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you very much.
All right. Take care.
All right. Bye.
Bye. All right. So next I have Laura Gendron of Misbehavior Training with me. How are you, Laura?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for joining me. I really appreciate you taking the
Yeah.
time.
No problem. You know, I
Kate
love
was
these
just
live
singing your
videos.
praises because she's like, oh, I was training with your last guest. And, we were
Yes.
talking about how much improvement that Gus has made and how far he's come out of his shell, which is fantastic.
Oh, so far he's doing so great. I love it. I love it.
Awesome. Well, now you've been a partner with us for, I think, actually since the beginning.
Yep.
Since we started our partner
Yep.
program in 2019, I believe. So we
Mhm.
really appreciate that. And obviously, you've seen a lot of changes over the years. Tell us a little bit about how your experience has been as a partner.
I mean, yeah, I've seen you grow throughout the whole thing. I mean, back with some of your other projects that we were part of together. And it's been really just sort of fun to see the whole process and how it's all gone. And a lot of my clients, I end up referring them to you guys once they're ready because I work with a lot of reactive dogs, right? So I work them through the first part of the process of like getting used to just seeing people in general. But then it's been really awesome to just have a place for them to go when they're ready and to be able to, have people that I can trust that they can be around, because I've seen as you've gone along and have, learned, what people need and what, you can provide for them and what you need to, maybe seek out for them and just their needs overall. Just being able to set sort of those expectations for people of like, okay, this is what we're doing. This is where we're going. I mean, even just like something as simple as when you have I forget what you call them exactly, but you categorize the different walks as far as like, this is sort of like an easy walker, a level 1 walker. Yep. I forget exactly how you put it, but and just letting people know that alone, because that's huge for people. Because I think there's a lot of anxiety with people when they go in and they're like, I don't really know what to expect as far as the walk itself if they've never been to that specific spot. So I think you've done a really great job of just sort of setting those expectations for people, and then which helps set those expectations for the dogs. So that's
and I appreciate you saying that, because I know that we do have a lot of reactive dog owners that come very much apprehensive and worried that they're going to be embarrassed and they're going to have to turn around and go home. And we've put a whole program in place thanks to you and a number of our dog training partners who have helped us understand the different things that we can do to make people feel more comfortable, more welcome. We do the yellow ribbons, we have yellow bandanas. We've now started working with our venues to put visual barriers in place. And we had a very successful, I was just talking with Tracy and Echo at the beginning of our broadcast. We had a very successful event there where the venue set up hay bales and barrels so that the dogs could be below and not have the gaze with other dogs. But the humans were able to sit in chairs and see other people. It really was a perfect setup. So we're actually going to invest in visual barriers ourselves that can travel around to different venues in case they don't have something that we need. But it's the wonderful partnership we have with you guys and all the work that you do with reactive dogs, that it helps us to know how we can be better as well. And I mean, I love what you do with your training and the field trips that you do that help people, feel successful, prepare them for success, and then potentially be in a bigger, larger environment with the pack with us. So it really seems like a very nice stair-step process that we've developed together.
Yep. And like Kate was saying earlier, when we were talking earlier today virtually, we were talking a lot about Gus, as you guys know now, because she's already talked on here. So we're talking a lot about Gus, about his, being a little bit nervous around if he sees new people and stuff like that. And she had mentioned during that call that, when he's out on his walk, sometimes he struggles more, but when he goes on his regular walks, but when he goes with you guys on your walks, it's like he knows the whole routine and he knows the whole pattern, and he's a dog who loves patterns. So it's just seeing that alone and knowing like, okay, we arrive, maybe Tracy or whoever is going to do her thing and going to talk for a little while, and then we're all going to walk in the same direction together. And, that's a huge thing for reactive dogs or just any dog in general, to be able to sort of be parallel walking among a group of dogs is huge. So for dogs who are ready for that, it's been so helpful.
Well, it's been so eye-opening too, because when I started the company back in 2018 with my reactive dog, I had no idea how she would be in that environment. But one of the things that I quickly learned is when all the dogs had one function, one purpose, which was to walk forward together, there wasn't that gazing, there wasn't that stare, but there was sniffing of things together. There was sharing of sniffs. One dog would mark, the next dog would sniff and mark, and the next dog would sniff and mark. So I could really see her calming down and having a more enjoyable time. And one of the things that I loved was the day that you were willing to bring Willow to the pack adventure.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Oh yeah.
That was a fantastic day. And I actually,
Yes.
if I can I share some of my favorite pictures of you?
Sure.
Okay. Let me just add that here. So we've got you on the left here when you were you did reindeer games with us. We did that at April Woods Stable in Dover, which is a big horse barn. And then you and I, when you were the featured expert in May, you did a loose leash recall training program. Those are the two pictures in the middle. Then on the right was the first time that you joined us with Willow. And you can see there she has a basket muzzle on. And I know it took you a little while to bring her to our events. What kind of was that tipping point for you?
Honestly, I think there was one day, I mean, this was a pretty local walk. So I knew that if things didn't go well, I could turn around and go home. It was like 7 minutes from my house. So that was helpful. I knew it was going to be a somewhat smaller group at that point. I don't know why I thought that at the time. I think I was following the event on Facebook and just seeing like, okay, there aren't a ton of people who are going to this one. I think the weather was not great. So I was hopeful there. And then I just kind of, at some point with me, and this is just my personality too, it's just kind of like, I'm just going to go. Like, it's just sort of a spur of the moment. We're going to do the thing, because if we don't do the thing and I try to keep making it perfect all the time, and I'm like, okay, I need her to be like this, and I need to make sure this happens and that happens. It's never going to happen. Right. Because there is no perfect. So, and I knew, and I told you in advance I was coming to kind of like, I felt like I was warning you that like, okay, Willow's coming, just so you know. And it was awesome. Like, it was such, and I left on such a high just from having that experience with her. And that happens a lot with me. If I do take her somewhere, she ends up doing pretty well. As long as, the environment is, at least 50-60% right for her. It doesn't have to be perfect, but she does pretty well. And then I leave on a high, and that's awesome. And, worst case, if something did happen, if she reacted to something, number one, I had the basket muzzle as an extra precaution for her. And on the way up, I kept my space from everybody, and everybody had those expectations of like, okay, we're going to give her space. You told everybody up front, that she's a little bit reactive. And then I was able to talk to them too. And so they gave her space on the way up, but on the way back, we were walking next to another reactive dog, like right there next to each other. And as if they had known each other forever. And it's one hike up, one hike down, and they did great. And then there was one point, I think there was a couple of dogs that were going to pass by the group, and you had stepped up, Tracy, and said like, oh, we have some reactive dogs here. If you could just, give them some space. So just having that, that extra advocacy for the reactive dogs is helpful too, because sometimes it's hard when you're trying to take care of your dog and try to like be there to tell other people to please give you space, stuff like that. It's not always easy.
Yeah, and that's what our adventure guides are trained to do, especially with reactive dogs, is to advocate for them. So on that particular adventure, did you feel that the other participants were respectful of your needs and understanding of the distance that Willow needed?
Oh, super respectful. Almost like, I don't want to say too respectful, but more respectful than I even needed. Because, because I know that she can go and be near dogs, but she just can't, like, if a dog comes at her real fast, then she gets really nervous. But to the point where, so I think a dog had gone poop or something, and she was picking up the poop bags, and I went and just did a nice little arc around them. And the dog, at the very last second, the other person's dog said like, oh, there's a dog there. And, she apologized. The owner apologized to that. And, so they were super respectful about it, which was
good. Oh, I'm so glad.
Super helpful.
Well, we have loved partnering with you. I appreciate your support since day one. And thank you for that big step that you took in bringing Willow and, going out of your comfort zone, which is what a lot of, our members do until they get over that hump and are like, okay, yeah, I get it. I get what everybody is saying. I get what everybody is sharing. This can work, and it worked for me as well. So thank you for taking your time tonight to be with us as well.
Yes,
I hope
you're
you
very
enjoy
welcome.
the rest of your
Anytime.
evening. And tell Willow we said hello.
I will do that. She's downstairs with the kids.
Awesome.
All
All right.
Thanks, Tracy.
Laura. Take
Bye.
care. All right. So next I have Allison with us, who is mom of Mama Lulu. And she is also the executive director at Mary's Dogs, who is our charitable partner for this year. So how are you doing?
I am doing well, Tracy. I am going to apologize for any mistakes I make or anything. I left my house about 12 hours ago to go to school, and we just finished up a board meeting. I'm still at the rescue.
Oh my
We have better
goodness.
internet here than I do at home, so I just stayed. And we are set up in the back for 25 pups to arrive on Friday. So
Wow. Wow. Big transport coming in. That's amazing. You guys do so much work there. And, you know, I think I've said this to you before. I know I've said it to other members in the group that, you know, there's a lot of dogs and a lot of dog rescues, and there's a lot of places you can rescue dogs from. But one of the things that I have found is anytime someone has rescued a dog from Mary's Dogs, it automatically becomes a Mary's dog. It's not that I rescued a dog from this shelter. It is a Mary's Dogs. And I haven't found that with other shelters. So there's really that connection that you're establishing with people who adopt from you guys. You do fantastic work. So I'm not surprised that you were voted charitable partner again this year by our members. And just to give people a little bit of background, how that works is every year we have an application process for charities in the area. And our managers pick the top 5, and then the vote goes up to our members. And then whoever gets the most votes is the charitable partner for that year. So Mary's Dogs was our charitable partner last year, and they are a charitable partner again this year. And so tell us about what has that partnership meant to you guys?
Well, so we reap the benefits of donations from the community. But I think really we're able to sort of share our message and build our community with yours. And I think that is, and in addition, our staff and volunteers have really been able to benefit from the club. Our staff and volunteers happen to be people who foster fail, often with the dogs who have some difficulties in public settings. And we're very thankful for them. But those dogs and their families have all benefited from the club. So that's sort of been a really great benefit that we maybe didn't realize was going to happen.
Yeah, let me just expand upon that. So by being the charitable partner, what Allison is referring to is that all their volunteers and foster families and employees also get to join club events at the member rate, the member discount. And with that membership comes a number of complimentary events, and we'll actually be rolling out those packages tomorrow night. But we've seen lots of different people from your organization, and sometimes they have their own dogs, sometimes they have their foster dogs, sometimes, you know, adoptable dogs that they walk and people can meet. So hopefully that's been a nice program for all of them to just kind of get out, get the dogs some exercise, and talk with people who are interested in potentially adopting.
Yeah, we really get that. I mean, the dogs get we learn so much about them when we're able to bring them to events. I have 3 dogs of my own. And so it's so hard for me to decide, like, who am I going to bring? I only want to bring one and so then I end up just bringing like a rescue dog from here or picking up a foster dog because they benefit so greatly. And I'm able to really learn a lot about them, spend some time with them for the day, and be able to share with adopters the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Well, and can I share some of my favorite pictures with you and some of the adoptable dogs that you've brought?
Absolutely.
All right. So here we go. We've got, who do we have with you here on the left?
So that's Red. And he, oh my gosh, he was such a good boy. He, I just remember him. He just sat. So, I mean, I had chicken and cheese. So I guess that was really but he was just such a good boy. We learned so much about him. He ended up going to a foster home, and he found such a great home. So
that fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, and I remember this was our Sweet Trail event where we went to the sweet tasting afterwards. Did he go to that as well and get some cupcakes?
Yes, and he got cupcakes. He very much enjoyed his cupcakes, and We love Sweetened Memories because she fosters for us, and she literally
that's right.
brings us cupcakes and picks up a foster puppy. It's a really great thing.
Oh, that's perfect.
Cupcakes. It's
Well, I
pretty.
remember this event too, that she wanted a portion of her proceeds to go towards Mary's Dogs. And I think we
Yes.
raised like $128 or something
Yes.
like that out of her proceeds. So that was a nice collaboration for sure.
It was a great day. Yes, for sure.
And then, of course, this little one in the costume here is your little Peanut.
That's Mama Lou, the unicorn.
That was at Dover Dog Halloween last year. What she was dressed as a unicorn, you said?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, that's adorable. That face. Oh, and if you have ever met this wonderful dog, she's just the calmest, sweetest. Like, I think my most fondest memory of her is anytime we go to the ice cream socials. She will just this is my pavement. I'm gonna lay right here and cool off, and there's nothing you can say about it.
She lays right down while I wait to order ice cream. She's knows her place. She's very happy to be there.
Well, and is that her on the picture on the right? That's her eating the ice cream, right?
That was ice cream. Yep, in New York for sure. Yes.
Yeah, when we went up there, I think that was for the. I'm trying to remember. We were at the beach. Oh, that was the Long Sands.
Yes.
Short Sands visit. We went around town. We went to the York fire station. We got water and little biscuits. We saw taffy being made, and then we went to ice cream. We saw the sunset over the lighthouse. Yeah, that was a really fun day.
Super fun. Yes.
And then who's the little guy with you in the chair when we were at Loaded Question Brewery?
I love Loaded Question. That's one of my favorites. So that's Moose. He was a local surrender. He was a senior dog. He was just, I mean, he had quite a story to tell. He was with the same person for a long time and was surrendered, and he had a really hard time adjusting. He stayed with me for about a week because his long-term foster went away. And so I got to really learn a lot about him in that week. And I, brought him to that event. He is literally living the life with another senior min pin in Maine. He rides around in the convertible. They just took the convertible out for the first visit for this spring in the nice weather, and we got a picture. So it's just incredible.
That's fun. Oh, that's so great. So would you say that when foster dogs have been brought to the event, has it been a pretty good connection for finding adoptable families?
Yes, I would say, even if we don't make a connection there, I feel like our people learn so much about dogs when we can bring them to these kinds of events that it really helps us to have a better picture of where they need to be. And so then we're able to make that much better of a match. So the more we can learn about our dogs through events like this, the better we're going to be at finding that perfect place so that they stay forever.
That's awesome. Well, and I know too, you as an organization, obviously you're always fundraising, and we have that going on for you throughout the year too. We've got our biggest fundraising event coming up for you, which is our second annual Doggy Easter Egg Hunt taking place on April 16th. Tickets will be released to the community on the 18th. Members had first choice here since the 15th. Most of our VID, very important dog experience tickets, are already taken. Members scoop those up. So we hope our goal for Mary's Dogs, this event this year, is 1,500 from this event. So we're hoping.
Awesome. Very good.
Yeah, we're trying to get that going. But I know that you've got some events coming up too. And do you want to just talk briefly about the 5K road race that you have every year?
Well, so we just had our board meeting, and our hope is that it is going to happen Memorial Day weekend. There's been some changes at the Deerfield Fairgrounds, and I will just leave it at that. So we're going to, everybody just pull for us to get our date and be able to get started with gathering sponsors. We're going to be very late for that, honestly, with this little snafu that we've had. So the hope is that we'll get our date and get our sponsors in. But you know what? We have a great community. So I'm not super concerned.
Well, and if you guys run into any problems too, we've established a lot of connections over the last couple of years. So we've had to pull some strings with town select boards and things like that, but maybe we can help if Deerfield doesn't pan out.
Awesome. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much, Allison, for taking time out of your very long day to join us tonight. I hope you have the rest of your evening is fantastic as you go home and get to cuddle with your furry family.
Yes, can't wait. All right. Thank you so
Take
much.
care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
So next I have the Carpenters with me. How are you, Ned and Christine?
Hello. Look at my shirt. Just wanting you to know.
I know. Thanks for,
There you
kind
go.
of primping up the scene here with the good stuff. Now, how did we get the big guy to go on here with you? Did you have to bribe him?
Oh yeah, with
Yeah,
treats. You know.
I was told I had to be.
Oh, this guy
yeah,
or
that's what I
guy?
was hoping, because we don't have a lot of guys showing their face here and talking about the club and
That's
and
quite
cool
all right.
things
I'm
like
happy
that.
to be
So I
here.
appreciate you joining us.
I
Absolutely.
thought you were talking about Guy the
The
dog.
dog.
Well, that too. I'm hoping he's there as well, but
He's on the bed.
He
We
is.
don't know if he'll show up.
He
but-
won't make
oh,
it.
okay. He's probably resting. He's an old guy. He's had a long day. So,
He is resting, actually.
well, thanks guys for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. One of the reasons I really wanted to have you guys on is because we don't have a lot of husband-wife teams that join us.
Mhm.
Or couples at all. It's usually the woman who joins us who a significant other is just not interested in hiking or is doing something else. So can you guys tell us a little bit about your experience coming to the events, because you do normally come together?
Yeah. Well,
Yes, we do.
I initiated joining because I have more time during the day than Ned does. I work part-time. And so we moved here almost 4 years ago. It'll be 4 years in June. And I wanted to, meet some people and also have Guy meet some other dogs. And, it's not as much fun walking in the neighborhood. It gets a little boring. So I wanted to try other, trails and whatnot. So then I kind of said, Ned, it's more on the weekend. And so you're coming with me. That's how it went down.
So he
Right.
wasn't like
Pretty
fighting
much.
tooth and nail, right? Did he come willingly?
No, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yes, he
Okay.
did. He did. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, we've had a lot of great events where we have seen more couples come to, like the wine and the wags, the mutts and meads, the
Right.
what is it? The I can't even remember the brewery. Oh, Hikes and
Right.
Hops.
Uh-huh.
So I think once we started rolling out those events, I mean, even my husband too. I mean, he really has enjoyed those events.
Right.
We've seen more couples come to those, and I know you guys went to the first wine and wags that we had at Flag Hill Winery, which is just over a year ago. That was a really big event.
That was awesome. Mm-hmm.
But I guess, Ned, from your perspective too, like, how are you finding it as a male, enjoying outings, the getting together, because it is primarily female. I mean, how
Yeah.
are you
Yeah.
enjoying the get-togethers?
I do. Honestly, Tracy, the biggest part for me is, aside from being able to spend time with Christine and our dog, is really being outside, because I love being outside and I love the woods. And a lot of what we do is in the woods, hiking and on trails and whatnot. So I really like that. And even if it weren't for the activities that we do with you guys, I would probably be in the woods anyway. As you know, I'm a hunter, I'm a fisherman. I just like being outside. So it's kind of hand in glove for me.
We really didn't have to, I didn't have to bribe him or anything.
No.
And I actually thought that it was going to be more during the week. I know you have pop-ups and stuff.
Yep.
Usually when I'm working. So but it's a good thing that it's during the week and the weekends. And
Yep.
I figured, if we're going to do stuff, or I'm going to do it on the weekend, I want to spend time with Ned. So why not? I know he likes to be outside. So that's how it all happened.
Well, that's awesome that you feel that spending time together is quality time when you're on an event with us.
Mhm.
That's great to hear that it means that much to you. And I know obviously Guy enjoys it. I want to share some of my favorite pictures of you guys, if that's all right. So, because Guy is always dresses for every occasion.
Very nice.
So here we go. Super Bowl Saturday, dressed to the nines. Easter egg hunt. He's got his bandana on. Birthday party. He came all dressed up. He always does. And then this was the Wine and Wags event. He was tuckered out. He had to take a nap.
That's
know what? He might not really show it because I call him Mr. Chill, but he loves doing this. He has a great time. he likes to be in the front of the pack. You know, but I want to, like we were talking, you want to move the people around so we get to know each other and the dogs get to know each other. I'm trying to do that, but he loves to be in the front.
Yeah, you're referring to our social walks that we're going to be starting up here in April, getting
Okay.
dogs and people a chance to meet different people and then also see how their dog does at different areas in the pack.
Yeah.
Because I know, like you said, Guy likes to be in the front. There are some reactive dog owners that like to be in the back. I don't think I've ever heard anybody say I like to be in the middle, but it is a different environment for the dog with different stimuli. So it'll be a very controlled environment where we'll really take a look at how the dogs are doing in those different positions in the pack. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, and you know what happens too, because we come together, it's got like we're tag teaming each other. And when Ned has Guy on the leash, then it gives me a chance to do what I like to do and talk to people and, and get to know him. So I move around on my own in the front, the middle to the back, So, and it's really as much for me as it is for Guy, and Ned, but it's, I want to meet people. So it's perfect,
Well, and as I recall, the last one, didn't you try to start a snowball fight?
Oh, no.
Sounds like something she would do.
Hello. I think that was your significant other half. I won't say
actually,
better half.
Maybe he did. Yeah.
I won't say better half. He started it. I
think you're right.
I'm not going to let him get away with that.
I wouldn't either. Just because he's holding a camera doesn't mean anything.
That's right. No special treatment. No.
Well, guys, tell me what each of your favorite events has been so far. I mean, you guys are founding members, so you've been with us here over a year now. What's been, do you each have a different favorite event or the same favorite event?
Well, I personally, there's a couple. I like anything having to do with the beach because I love the beach. I grew up vacationing down the Jersey Shore, so I love the ocean. Guy, not so much. He likes walking. He doesn't like the water, but that's okay. And then anything having to do with the breweries, I think that's a great, we went to the Mutts and Mead, the Mead one.
Yep, the Meadery in Pittsfield. Yep, over the farmstead.
Yeah, we missed the last one. We had a conflict, but we both loved that. And then any other one really that has to do with, and I know for me personally, I like the bird watching walks.
Oh yeah, that's true. You've been to all of those, I think, right?
Maybe, I think. I was in the winter one where we almost got blown away.
Yes, I know. I think we've had 3 or 4 so far. Yeah, with Kelly at Nature Education Opportunities. Those have been fantastic.
I like that one. How about you?
My favorite was the Meadery. I like that area up there, and the walk was awesome. A little bit more challenging because it was hilly and we were walking the whole farm. And the alcohol it's okay too at the end. That's kind of cool. So
yeah, that's a bonus.
Yeah, mead is such an interesting taste. I'm not a big alcohol drinker, but mead, it's a very sweet, honey, fruity kind of taste is usually the ones that we get. But now I've got really good news for you, Ned. Something you don't know yet that's rolling out to members is that Over the Moon Farmstead is going to be offering half off their flights for members of the Golden Dog Adventure Company with a secret code word that you have to give when you go. And we have some different partnerships that we've established like that with some of our different sponsors and partners. Like, I don't know, did you guys go to Auspicious Brew when we had the kombucha tasting?
No.
Because they're offering a discount too. So we've got some fun stuff rolling out to members here.
Oh, good.
Tracy, I've done so much and you keep throwing stuff out there. I can't remember my last name, never mind where I've been,
Well, you know how to reach me if you forget.
Yes, you are he's one part of my brain, you're the other part of the brain.
Yeah, perfect. I'm glad. Or is it like, the devil on one side and
probably.
The other?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. I need a lot of help. Oh,
well. Well, thank you so much, guys, for taking time tonight and speaking with us. I really appreciate it and sharing your experiences. Enjoy the rest of the night. And I know we're going to see you and Guy at the Easter egg hunt.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, Yeah, that's in April sometime, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. I know you're coming to some events in March too, but I'm
Yep.
excited to see Guy again at the Easter egg hunt as well.
He's
since you
laying down
enjoyed
on
it.
the bed. I don't know if we could see him. Wait.
I can't see
No.
past your chair, actually.
No.
Nah, you won't.
Oh, there he is. I can see
There
his
he
head
is.
now.
In the back. There he is. He's
Yep,
sleeping.
he's resting.
Anyway,
Yeah,
Getting his
yeah,
oatmeal
you'll
and
see
stuff.
us. You'll see us soon.
we'll be there.
Awesome. All right, guys. Thanks so much. Have a great night.
Great.
Thanks, you
Thanks,
too.
Tracy.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye. So next I have Eric with me, who is the general manager at the mall at Fox Run. How are you, Eric?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Awesome. Thanks. Thanks for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Happy to talk about dogs.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm very excited because still to this day, many people, and I'm hoping they are watching and learning, do not know that the mall at Fox Run in Newington is dog friendly. And it is an awesome place to bring your dog. Most of the stores are dog friendly. It's an open, fun environment. There's lots of colors. There's lots of smells, especially lots and lots of fun smells. And I know you guys are doing more and more fun things coming up here over the next year. Do you want to talk about some of the changes that you're making here at the mall to be even more dog friendly?
Yeah. So you helped us go dog friendly in May of last year. We held an event called Yappy Hour. And so the sort of impetus behind that was we wanted to look at the mall and re-envision it as a neighborhood and sort of how can we make it a fun place to be that gives you a unique experience so that, you know, the experience that you get when you go to like a Portland, Maine or a Newburyport or Portsmouth, like those are all neighborhoods and they have a unique feel to them. And we kind of wanted to sort of benchmark that. And sort of one of the key things that we took away is that, you know, all of the towns that we were sort of calling out were all dog friendly towns. And so we knew that we had to do that. And by fate or luck or whatever, you know, we lined up with you and you helped us to make that transition. And we did Yappy Hour. And, you know, we had a lot of great partners at the event. We had a good turnout. And to your point, it took a while for people to sort of understand, even after we launched that and we made a big message. It took a while for sort of the message to sink in. And still, like you said, to this day, people are surprised, and we get emails that, you know, we didn't know we could bring the dog to the mall. Like, yes, we've been dog friendly since May of 2021. So we're excited to do that. We're sort of learning as we go. I think when we first set up, we sort of anticipated that, you know, people would bring, you know, a doggy bag or, you know, to clean up after themselves. But I also think that maybe being in a mall is sort of an unfamiliar environment to a dog. So I think that there was a little bit of, you know, my dog's good. He doesn't go to the bathroom on the floor, but now you have a dog in an unfamiliar environment. And so like accidents happen. So, you know, now in retrospect, it seems sort of silly that we didn't do it, you know, kind of put the cart in front of the horse. But, you know, we have stations now where you can, we give for free, like little doggy bags and wipes and things like that. And we were talking, you and I, the other day, and excited to do this. We bought some really cool artwork that we're going to sort of make the, you know, in sort of reinforcing that, like the mall's like fun to be at and a fun place to be. Like when you go to the doggy station, it's going to feel like a cool little spot in and of its own. And so, you know, we're excited to have you there. Once we have everything hung and looking good, you know, we would love to have you sort of broadcast that out to everybody and say, like, look at what we have. And we think that people will like the pictures and the artwork and be appreciative of that. And it's sort of, you know, closing that loop. You know, art is another thing that we're really embracing. And, you know, so I think it checks a lot of boxes. And, you know, we're excited to move forward with it.
Well, and we love working with you guys too, because it's just so much fun to have access to the mall before it's open to the public for our programs like the sensory scavenger hunt, as you know.
Right.
And the security team is so helpful and so friendly. They love having the dogs there. We love connecting with them. And I know too, you've been a great supporter of a lot of our different events. You were a sponsor of the Dover Dog Halloween event this past year.
That was awesome.
You've also given to the raffle items for the Easter egg hunt coming up. And, we really feel very fortunate to have this very unique partnership with you ever since you decided to go dog friendly. And I know I have to applaud you on that decision as well, because I know that you got a little bit of pushback from people who said, I'm not shopping at the mall anymore if dogs are now allowed. But you guys, you were very committed in your decision to moving forward and opening it up to dogs. And I think that was fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I take that negative feedback with a grain of salt because it's social media and that's sort of what it is.
Yeah.
And I feel like maybe 1 out of the 5 people that said that they were unhappy with that was probably legit, but we have thousands of other people who are so happy to experience it. And it's just so cool now when you go walking around in the mall and we're almost coming up on a year, and like I said, it took a while to sort of get the message repeatedly out and have that to sort of sink in. And for a while after we did Yappy Hour, it was you would go out there and you still wouldn't really see dogs. But now, like, if you don't go for a walk in the mall, or if you go for a walk in the mall and you don't see like 3 or 4 dogs, it's unusual. And I'll stop people. I'm usually not wearing a badge or anything, so they don't know who I am. And it's like, oh, hey, look at your dog. And they're like, yeah, we're so excited that we can bring our dogs to the mall. It's like, there's no other place that you can do that but Fox Run. And so it's kind of cool to be like undercover and get the feedback on it.
Yeah, I agree. And I know you and I have talked at length. We have quite a few new events and unique things coming up this year that we've been talking about. And I think we're trying to roll out a new Yappy Hours for May. We've talked about
Hopefully.
that. But now you also have a fun event coming up at the beginning of April with the Easter Bunny. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Is that the extravaganza?
No, is that April 6th? You've got pictures with the Easter Bunny?
Oh, right. Yeah. So, we're doing Pet Photo Day. And thank you for reminding me.
Hey, that's my job.
Yeah, right. So historically, we've done a Pet Photo Day every year, and it's usually the busiest or one of our busiest days. And so, now that we're dog friendly, we can really sort of leverage that. And, it's cool that it's not just like kind of bring your dog into the mall, run up to the Easter Bunny, get your picture taken and run out. Like, now you can do that and go shopping and go to the food court and get a slice of pizza and a Coke or whatever, and, enjoy.
Exactly. Well, I know you had quite a successful turnout too for pet pictures with Santa.
We did. Yeah, it was great.
That's another fun opportunity.
Yep. So we're going to keep doing those. Like you said, we're working on another Yappy Hour with maybe a couple of wrinkles thrown in. You and I discussed a fashion show.
Yep.
I tuned in a little bit to Christine and Ned earlier, and I heard the feedback on the mead and sort of the when beer can be integrated into it, and that's something that we're working on. We have a new tenant coming in that I can't announce just yet, but we feel like they're going to be able to help us take some of these events and really bring them next level. And sort of
nice. Ooh,
the
well,
beer thing will definitely play.
Yeah,
the beer thing will definitely play a key part.
Awesome. Well, do you mind if I share some pictures of our favorite events at the mall?
Yep, absolutely.
All right, let me pop that up here. So just to give people an idea, so the picture here on the left is actually the first Yappy Hours that you had. We all came with tables. I know that some of our other partners were there. Sit, Stay, Smile, Pet Photography, Pet Supplies Plus was there. Hero Pups was there. Inspire Canine was services was there. So we had quite a few of our partners there for that first Yappy Hours.
Yeah.
The picture in the middle here is our first sensory scavenger hunt that we had there, where again we had 600,000 square feet to just explore this sensory scavenger hunt we did in partnership with Monica at Barrington Barks and Behavior. And then on the right, the dog in the little sensory pool there was the second sensory scavenger hunt that we had just about a month ago. So just such a great environment with so many great smells and so many different cool things going on in a controlled environment where people can feel safe and welcome. So, thank you so much for opening that up for us.
Thank you for choosing us. We feel honored to have you.
Awesome. Well, I look forward to continuing our partnership, Eric. I hope you have a great night, and thanks for taking a couple minutes out of your evening to join us.
Thank you so much, Tracy.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So next I have Allie joining us. How are you, Allie?
Good. How are you?
Good. Now I think Marianne's going to be joining us soon as well.
Yeah, she should be.
Yeah, I think she said she was dialing in from another location. But do you have Paige there with you tonight?
No, I don't.
Oh no, what's she doing tonight?
She's hanging at my mom's house.
Oh, okay. So maybe when Marianne dials in, we'll be able to tune in to Bailey and Tegan and Paige. And I know she has a couple other dogs that I don't think we've met yet. Oh, here she is. We'll pop her on here. Oh, okay. So maybe when Marianne dials in, we'll... Hey, Marianne, how are you?
Hello.
Oh, so it sounds like you get some feedback. You're watching the Facebook one. You'll just have to close out of that.
There we go.
Perfect. All right. So good. So I've got Allie and I've got Marianne here with us. And is that Bailey on your lap?
This is Bailey.
Hi, Bailey. I've got some cute pictures to show of you, girl. Look at that face. She's like, Mom, what are we doing? Well, thanks for joining me tonight, guys. I really appreciate it. I love that you've come on to talk a little bit about your experience as members. First, could you tell us a little bit about your dogs? Because I know, Marianne, you've got some Mary's dogs. I was talking with Allison earlier about how dogs rescued from Mary's dogs are known as Mary's dogs. And then, Allie, I know that you have Paige that you rescued as well. Did you rescue Paige from Mary's dogs?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Oh,
she's
okay.
a foster
So she's a Mary's
fail.
dogs as well. So do you want to tell us a little bit about Paige and about her experience and your experience with the company?
Yeah, so fostered Paige. It was in the fall, over a year ago now. So she was born feral to a feral mom, and she was raised by dogs. So of course, humans are pretty scary for her. She came up in the fall, and I definitely picked her to foster. Fostered her brother too, and so we had to foster her as well. And we picked her up, and she was pretty shut down and scared. We had to carry her out of the inn in her crate because she didn't know what a leash was or anything like that. And then got her home and just let her decompress, and then just learn that it's a safe world for her here. And then it's been building on her confidence ever since. I started working with Canine Karma with Eden. We did a lot of private training classes, and then I finally felt comfortable enough to bring her on a walk. It was pretty close to home. It was like 5 minutes away, so I knew if she freaked out or didn't even want to come out of the car, that we can just turn around and go home. And she actually did.
Just, if I can pause for just a second, Allie, can you tell us a little bit about what was going through your head at that time when you decided to make, that I'm going to attend that first event? What were you feeling?
I was definitely nervous. I actually went to the area the day before and I walked her. And so I knew what to expect. I knew kind of like where to park and if it was a big parking lot or if it's going to be a lot of people. There was no one there when I went. So I definitely knew that it was going to be an okay event to start her off with. And there was only like 10 other people.
Was this the pack adventure? Was that the first time we met her?
It was Burley Farms.
Oh, yes, that's right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. She hid in the bushes a couple of times.
I remember. Oh. And she had the yellow sign on her so people knew that she needed a little bit of extra space.
Yeah.
But did you feel pretty good after that first event with her? Like, okay, yeah, this is a good start. And you felt that she would progress from there?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with everyone else giving her space. So she's pretty different. So her kind of reactivity is all inwards, and she is very afraid of people. She loves dogs. And a lot of people, they think, oh, she's reactive, so we gotta keep our dogs away from her. But she's the complete opposite of that. And so I started bringing her on more walks, and there's one walk It was Demerit Hill Farm, and we were walking, and there was someone else walking near us, and she saw the tag on Paige's leash that says anxious dog, and she's like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm gonna step back. And I was like, oh no, she's fine with dogs, it's people. And she was like, oh, okay. And so she walked as far away from her dog that she could get, and Paige went up to go say hi to that dog.
Nice.
And like that's when I knew like this is a really great community to be in.
Awesome. I'm glad that it's been so successful for you, because I know that you've come to quite a few events. I know she hurt herself recently, so we haven't seen her in a while. How is she feeling?
She's getting better. She hurt both knees. Unfortunately, she slipped on ice twice this winter.
She didn't have to have surgery, did she?
Not yet.
Oh, do you think she's going to need to?
She might. We're trying to see. It's hard for the vet too to see kind of what's going on, because she doesn't like being touched.
Oh, good point. Yeah.
So we're just taking it day by day with her.
Well, I love the attention that you're giving her and all the dedication to training. I mean, you're a great dog mom, and we appreciate you giving us a try to see if it was the right environment for her. And I'm glad that turned out, because I've got some great pictures here I have to show, like with the little cupcake frosting on her face. You remember that? So I'm going to show that in a minute as well. But Marianne, I know you've got Bailey. We've met Tegan as well, but Bailey is she is a lover.
She's a party girl.
Absolute party girl.
Socialite.
So now, what attracted you to, our outings in the first place too? Obviously, you don't have a reactive dog in Bailey, but what was the draw to you?
So I retired last year, and I have a lot of time on my hands, and I had just seen the club on Facebook a few times, and I thought, that sounds like fun. And I thought about every walk would show up, and I'd think about it. And when I finally went on one, I had a really good time, and was glad I joined. There's a lot of great people, a lot of great dogs. There's also a lot of education that's available, and so I've just really enjoyed it quite a bit.
Well, I'm glad you bring that up, because we're having quite the conversation about nutrition this month. About where your dog food is sourced versus where it's made versus where it's produced are all three very different things. So I've been noticing in our member-only Facebook group, there's been a lot of comments on that post. So, granted, what Marianne's talking about is our PAWS curriculum, which is our collaboration with many pet professionals throughout the state to put together a curriculum for our members. And there's 10 key units or subjects that we go over. This month, we're talking about nutrition, and there's a lot of great stuff that we're sharing. So, okay, if I share some pictures, my favorite pictures of you guys. All right, let me pop it up here. All right, so here on the left, we've got, this was our Mexican Independence Day, and this is Allie and Paige on the left. And what Allie is trying to do with Paige is I think it was some kind of biscuit, right? Under the bowls, and you're trying to get Paige to sniff it out to see which one it's under. Did she engage in that event?
I think she did briefly.
Okay.
She didn't want to put her nose all the way down. It was too intimidating for her.
Well, you can see she's very alert. She's, keeping tabs on what's going on around her. And you can see Bailey's coming in there from the side and trying to tell Paige where it is. They're a good team, that's for sure. And then I think, you brought up the Demerit Hill Farm, which was a great event that we did with Jody Crotty, a soul level animal communicator, who's another one of our partners. And as I recall, she was hiding behind these cement blocks because there was some little kid next to her that was making a lot of noise? Or
the kids were dressed in Halloween costumes.
That's right.
Very
That's right.
scary.
So she was a little nervous there. So she found some comfort in between those. But she's just so alert, just constantly wondering what's going on there. And then on the right here, that was our Sweeten Memories trail that we were talking about earlier with Allison. And as I remember, she really loved the taste testing portion of this event, didn't she? Yeah. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And was it you that got the great picture with the over or the underbite and all the frosting on her face?
Yep.
Yeah, that was cute. I couldn't remember if that was you or if that was Ray. Awesome. Well, guys, thank you very much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate you taking time out of your evening, and I hope Paige is feeling better soon because we miss seeing her at the events, and I know we'll see Bailey again really soon. But
Yep.
thanks again, guys, and we'll see you real soon.
All right. Thank
All
you.
right, take care. Bye. All right, so next we have Lorianne with us, and Obi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Is your big man with you tonight?
He is. He's sleeping on his bed.
No way. He sleeps?
Yeah. Occasionally. It's not like a long-term thing. It'll
I
be just a
love it.
little bit.
Oh, did he have a full day at daycare? Is that why?
He did.
He did.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Well, I've got some great pictures to share with you here in a minute, but I just want to put a note out to our audience. If you are not familiar with Obi, I just want to give you a little bit of history because he's a fantastic dog. Now, he is a dog that we classify as reactive because he is influenced by certain stimuli that he sees in his environment. But reactive is not always a negative reaction to what's going on in the environment. Obi is one of the friendliest dogs that we know. He is so excited. He's like a little kid. He just, oh my God, I'm so excited to be here. I'm so excited to be my friend, see my friends. I'm so excited for ice cream. I'm so excited to be at the beach. I mean, he's just a big, smiley guy. I mean, you really got lucky with him, and you're so devoted to him. I know sometimes he can be a handful because he's a big boy, but you guys are just a fantastic team. How has your experience been bringing him to the different events?
I think it's been really good for him. It's been growing me a lot because it teaches me patience and it teaches me, to embrace his differences, that, his reactivityness and not kind of stifle him. It allows me to have the freedom to let him be him and not have people be afraid of him and, kind of shun us, if you will. I was always afraid of what people's reactions were going to be and how people were going to, allow us or welcome us into groups. And this group has just been fantastic. It's just been a way for us to just enjoy Obi's personality and him to just be himself and to allow me to, find support is huge because, every time we go to an outing, I'm always saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, because he's just barking and so out of control. And everybody's just like, no, we love him. And, and that just, it makes me feel so good because I'm like, okay, there's nothing wrong with him. There's nothing wrong with me. And I think that that's huge because sometimes I fear that, we're causing problems for people. And I don't want to ever be that. And so it's just such a great welcoming place where I can bring him and he can be himself and just really enjoy every moment of it.
I'm so glad you brought that up because I know you and I have had some tearful conversations regarding, is this a good environment for him?
Mhm.
I don't want to be a bother to people. I don't want him to be a nuisance to people. And I think, when did you find that, and maybe you're not there yet, when did you find though that you felt that you could stop apologizing at an event?
I think there are times when I still feel like I need to. And I think that's more my insecurities than anything, because sometimes I feel like, oh, he's in a mood today. He's not listening to mommy. And oh my God, what's going to happen? There could be a new reactive dog there that we've never, met. There could be new members that are like, oh, look at this dog, And so those are just my insecurities. But, I believe that honestly, it was when we were at an event. I believe we were at an apple orchard. I think it was one of the apple orchards we were at, and I was really having a rough day with him. He was just really, really hard to handle. And I remember I fell back, way back, in the back, and everybody kind of went on. And Obi really doesn't like that. He has to be with his group. And when he's not, he's really difficult. And I remember, when your husband came up and he checked on me and said, how's it going? I know Obi's being challenging today, and I said, I just think I'm overwhelmed. And I think I just for my sake, more than the group, I think maybe I'm probably just going to take the route over here, and kind of step away and kind of leave a little bit early just because I was overwhelmed. And just the reaction that I got from Ray of, oh, you're not bothering anyone, and we're here to help, and let me take Obi for you if you need me to. And if you feel more comfortable going over there, go right ahead, and I want you to just feel happy and comfortable. And when I met back up with the group, it was like, nothing had happened. You know, it was
Yeah.
like, okay, we're still with the group, you know, and
Yep.
it's like everything's okay. And I think it was that breaking point when I got home and I kind of almost cried all the way home thinking, oh my God, that was horrible. And then when I started thinking about it, I thought, it actually wasn't that bad because the group didn't have a negative reaction to us. The group didn't make me feel that way. That was just my own insecurities. And so from that point on, when I started coming to events with Obi, I felt way more relaxed. I feel like this is going to be okay. Like this group is accepting of us. They know who Obi is. They know that he's a friendly dog. He's just a little crazy sometimes. And I really had to learn to hone in on my anxieties and my worries because I was the one kind of driving that worry and that fear. And so I had to kind of keep myself calm, which helps keep Obi calm.
Yeah.
And even if it doesn't work, it's okay. And it's going to be all right. And I have to just keep telling myself that. And I think it was that point of knowing that the group still accepted us, wasn't thinking of us like, oh my God, look at those people acting ridiculous. You know, and that's what made me feel way more comfortable about it. So ever since then, I'm just like, yeah, I'll sign up for the next event. Like, let's
You
go.
do. We
Obi.
see you at quite a few events, which I think is wonderful. And I know one of the things that we discovered recently is you changed your position from where you normally walk in the pack. You would normally walk in the back because you thought, you know, maybe people would be a little overwhelmed by his barking or whatnot, so you would fall back.
Yeah.
But recently you started going into the front and he calmed right down. He really liked being in the front. And that's one of the things that we've learned too from our members is that it makes sense to rotate the position of people and of dogs so they get a different experience and we see how they react. So many of the reactive dogs that have actually been in the back have rotated to the front and have had a whole different experience and have enjoyed it much, much better. Granted, it's good that they've experienced the different places in the pack, but when they finally find where they're comfortable, I think you noticed at the winter social, it was a whole different experience for you.
Yeah, and you know, a couple of other walks previously where we kind of had kind of gone to the front, I thought, wow, this is a lot easier. You know, and even, Ray and Terry and, the members that are at a lot of the walks were like, wow, he really likes being in the front. You know, he really kind of feels like he's leading the pack and he's just so much more quiet and composed and he just really enjoys himself up there. And I thought, yeah, he really does, and I don't want to be like, everybody stay behind us, like, so I don't want to like make people feel like if their dogs have the same issue
Right.
that they have to stay behind us. But it's really great when there's times when I can say, hey, I need a moment. My arms are killing me from him like going crazy. Can I scoot up front for a little bit? And it was wonderful that kind of, you called up front and said, hey guys, can we just pause for a second and let Obi get to the front? And they all saw what a huge difference it made, and they were like, oh, wow, like, that's great. And I thought, oh, good, they're seeing it, like,
Yeah.
I'm not just making it up saying, I got to
Right.
get to the front, guys, and that was huge for us. And I think that's going to make a huge difference moving forward in how we kind of handle the pack situation.
Awesome. Well, I felt like we were drafting off of each other. We all took turns because that was
Yeah.
downhill and then it was uphill and it was, uneven terrain. So it's like, okay, you take turns now. We'll draft behind you. So
Right. Yeah. And it's
that
like,
worked out well.
okay, let's get some space. And then he doesn't feel like he's like in a pack and he's got to be in the front. Because if he has space, then he's like, okay, I have my own area over here and I'm good. So it's really about learning your dog's mannerisms and being accepted in a group that allows you to learn at the same time.
Right.
And that's what this group really does. And that's you can't put a price on that.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you saying that. So is it okay if I share some of my favorite pictures and moments of you and Obi?
Yes, please. I love them.
All right. Let me throw it up here. So the one on the left here was recently when we were out in Concord at Sewell's Recreation Area. He was so excited. And this isn't even like Obi on super excitement mode. That the time that he was super excited was the time he jumped over your head, but we won't even go into that today. But he was having a great day there. But then what I loved is this was our Valentine's Day VID special for the dogs. We went over to our partner's place in Concord, April at Canine Strong, and the dogs got a wonderful massage after, and he settled right down. He was so into that connection with you, which I thought was amazing. And then this one here in the middle where you guys are both dressed up. I love this. This was Dover Dog Halloween this past October. One of the events that we do with our partners, Sit, Stay, Smile Pet Photography right down in Dover. And then the one after that is Mexican Independence Day as well, where all the dogs came in their little sombreros. And then the one on the far right, Obi is telling the person behind the counter what he wants for his ice cream. Do you remember what he ordered?
Yeah, he likes the vanilla soft serve. He loves that
Good
stuff.
choice.
He doesn't like the doggy sundaes. He likes the vanilla soft serve, but he's very picky about it.
Do they put a little
He
biscuit in
lo-
it too? I can't remember.
What's that?
Do they put a little biscuit in it for the dogs too? I can't
Yes,
remember.
if they have them. Yeah. But he loves going to ice cream places. It's like his favorite thing. He'll wait in line patiently and he'll get there and he'll do just that. He'll get right up on the counter like, "You've got my ice cream. Are you ready?" Like, it's just the best experience with him because he's so social.
Well, and I love, you incorporate him like he is truly a part of the family, like he should be.
Yeah.
And it's these great places that we go to that let the dogs be family. They're not like, oh, the dog shouldn't be on the counter. It's like,
Right.
that those are the kind of venues and locations that we seek out that have that, same thought processes
Yeah.
as us. So, Lorianne, thank you so much for taking time
You're
out to come
welcome.
and speak about yours and Obi's experiences. I really appreciate it. Hope you have a great rest of your evening, and I know we'll be seeing you very soon.
All right. Thank you. You
All right,
too.
take care.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. So next we have Michelle. How are you, Michelle?
I'm good.
Thanks for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. Hope your evening's going well.
Yes, thanks for having us.
Do we have any of your beautiful pups with you tonight?
Well, Fenn is snuggled on the couch. Ruby
Oh, there's Ruby.
has decided to come out and say hello, and Brutus is angry because he can't be inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside.
On a beautiful day like this, I can understand. Or he's smelling the skunks as they start to come out of Topor, So
Yeah. Well, I just let him back in, and I heard the geese, so he was all
nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, it's only the weather's only going to get better this week, so I'm sure you'll see more of that with him, most likely.
Yeah.
So, Michelle, you've been with us for a while. You're a founding member, and you have actually brought all three of your dogs to events at different times. And I know you've got Fenway, who's your older dog, and you've got Ruby, who's is that your middle child?
She is.
Middle child. Okay. And she's been a little bit anxious sometimes. She hasn't let me quite approach her yet, but she seems to be mostly comfortable, maybe not as comfortable as Fenway, but she's finding her place in the pack.
Yes.
And then, I think it was about a year ago that you started introducing Brutus as well. And I know he has a reactive history, and when he comes to the events, he wears a basket muzzle as well. So can you tell me a little bit about your experience with your dogs, and what made you decide to join the membership as well?
Sure. Well, it's funny because I think I had written to you, I don't know, last week or the week before when I was going to sign up for an event. You have a picture on the event page, and Brutus and I are actually in that picture. It was the very first walk we had ever been on. I was very young and naive then, and I'm pretty sure I didn't
You're
even
still young, just so you know. You're still young.
Yes. A little smarter.
That's right.
I didn't think I had a muzzle for him at the time, and I believe that I knew Jake and Louise were going to be there, and that's why I was comfortable going.
Okay.
And we started at the back of the pack, and at some point throughout the day, we ended up in the middle. People are stopping, their dogs are going to the bathroom. There's just a lot of shuffling going on, and he was amazing. I remember we had someone walking behind us, and their dog was literally up my butt, and I kept thinking to myself, can you please not do that? Can you please not do that? Can you please not do that? But he didn't care. Like he didn't have a care in the world. So that was a really great experience for us. And then because of Ruby's shyness and his reactivity, I joined because I enjoy doing a lot with Brutus. Like this is my soul dog here, and I know I have to be very careful about where I take him. And I thought Ruby's the perfect guinea pig to be able to go out, have some fun. It can help her get out of her shell, and then it gets me to know some of the different locations and know whether is it too busy, is there too many off-leash dogs. So I thought, okay, like this is a really good thing for us.
Well, and I know you've had some really good success with several of the events that you've taken Brutus to. So I know he's done very well at the sensory scavenger hunt we did at the mall, and henceforth the Sensory Explorers personal workshops with Monica at Barrington Barks and Behavior. And then he also was an avid participant in the Doggy Olympics. Huge smiles on both of your faces when you were doing the water activity with you and your dog training and services down in New Boston, another one of our partners.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about, just that bonding time that you had with him during these different activities?
Yeah, that was pretty incredible. So he just turned 3 in December, and over the years, I've kind of taken a look back to say, this is what we did. So, we brought him home 3 years ago, February, and a year later, I don't remember what we did, but 2 years later, he had gotten his AKC novice and intermediate trick title. And I thought, wow, really? Like, we actually went to class for the novice title. We did the trick at home because of COVID, but it was incredible to watch him grow. You'd think a big cardboard box wouldn't be scary, but that was really, really scary for him. And it literally took us all class for him to get in that box and sit down. And it was amazing. I mean, he will do anything I ask him to do. So I remember at the end of that year saying, I can't even imagine like how you can top that off. And then last year we go to the Doggy Olympics and he comes home with medals. Like,
Yeah.
okay. So this year I said, geez, you've done pretty darn good for yourself the past couple years. And I, at this point, really can't figure out what you're going to do to surpass what you've already done, because he has come so far. And yeah, I was nervous. I was very nervous about signing him up for the Olympics, but the trainers that you have involved, I had some interactions with some of them before, but the ones I hadn't were so understanding and helpful. And the community here is incredible, absolutely incredible. The mall experience for the Doggy Olympics was the worst for me. It was extremely stressful for me. And Terry and Rocky were amazing. They knew how stressed out we were, so they were like, you know what, go ahead and get out of here so that you can do your thing and relax. And I've just had such support from everyone saying, you guys were great, because like Lorianne, I'm thinking, oh God, that we're going to go into this and it's going to be a fiasco and it's going to be chaos and I'm just going to have to leave. And I said that every single event we signed up for. I'll leave if I have to. I'll leave if I have to. And not once did we have to leave an event. And I had so many people say, "Oh my God, he was great. Like, I don't know why you're so worried. He was amazing." So this community is fantastic.
Well, thank you for saying that, because we do hear a lot. I get emails constantly from people who haven't gone to a first event yet, who have a reactive dog, and they're like, tell me about the environment. What will you kind of safety measures do you put in place so that we feel welcomed? And I was talking with someone just the other day who was considering coming to an event this weekend. The last thing she said in her email is, worst case scenario, I can always bail. And no one, because you've experienced this as well, no one to this point who has brought a reactive dog has ever had to leave an event. I think they just don't know what to expect. We do, because we've been through this so many times. So, we try to set the tone, the scene for them so they get a sense. But what we find is it's just, get out of your comfort level, push out of that box a little bit, come to your first event, see what it's about. You're not going to be shunned. You're not going to be judged. You're going to be welcomed. And, in the end, if it doesn't work, you tried. There's no harm, no foul, at least but again, we have 100% success rate so far. And I think it's just such a different environment that these dogs are going into. There's not those stairs. Granted, in the parking lot there is, but people with reactive dogs tend to stand off until we get going. But that's one thing that I found with my reactive dog too, is it's just, we're all going in the same direction. You're pointing out great smells to me, or you're marking and you're leaving great smells for me. And it's just a whole different world for these dogs. And that's what we found over the years that has been enjoyable. So I'm glad that you're experiencing that as well.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. We went to the first walk, this winter? Were we in Northwood? Was that the
first? Yeah, Northwood Meadows with the new Adventure Guide team. Yep.
Yeah. So that was the first official walk I took him on. And it was a little nerve-wracking for me. But he was fine. I mean, I get more jacked up than he does, honestly. And I know he feels it from me, and I try very hard not to do that. But I'm the one that's all anxious when I get there and go, oh God, what's going to happen? What's going to do? What's happening? And, like Tracy, and I got to tell you, Tracy and Echo have been so inspiring and motivating, because I thought, she's spoken so many times. And I think if she can do this, then I can do this. There is absolutely no reason why I can't. But her and I hung at the back, and Marie was great walking with us, and people know. I mean, he's got his muzzle on. People aren't going to be hanging out next to us unless they ask. So, yeah.
Good. I'm glad that was a good experience for you. And just so people know, Michelle mentioned Marie. Marie is a member of our team. She's one of our adventure guides, and she saw that there was a need there, and she wanted to provide some additional assistance if she could. And I know she was kind of working with you to kind of create that comfortable space bubble so that people would know that Brutus needed a little bit of space. So,
Yeah.
So Michelle, can I share some of my favorite pictures of you?
After seeing Lorianne's, sure. I'm not sure.
Well, I was able to find great pictures of all three of your babies.
Oh,
So we've got you here on the
Oh.
left. This is during the Doggy Olympics when you were doing Laura Gendron's games.
Yep.
And this was at another one of our partners, Canine Chaos in Dover. And then, of course, your wonderful outfit with Ruby at the last Dover Dog Halloween, which I think you actually won one of the prizes, didn't you?
Did.
Yes, you did. Okay, awesome. And then here, most recently, in the sensory pit at the sensory scavenger hunt at the mall at Fox Run that we were talking about earlier. And then on the very far right, you and Fenway at our senior walk with Lauren Ward, one of our partners who's a pet death doula, down at Benson Park in Hudson. That was a great day as well.
It was. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So some good memories here that you've made with your BFFs.
Yes. Yeah. And I love the opportunity to be able to, pick. And it can be hard, but it's nice to be able to say, oh, who am I going to take this time? Who wants to go? Whose turn is it? Or just trying to see what the environment's like. And obviously shorter walk for Fenway is the best.
Yeah. Did you find that the senior walk worked pretty well for him? I mean, it was relatively flat. It was wide trails.
Yeah.
Good picture opportunities.
Yeah, he was fine. He'd rather be carried.
And I know he got quite a bit of that, but he's looks like he's a pretty good snuggler. So
yeah. Oh yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Michelle, for taking time tonight. I really appreciate you telling us your story.
Thank you.
And I know we'll see you again soon.
All right. Bye.
Take care. So next I have Aaron and Terry, and there's Juniper and the black dog, and Rocky on the right, the cattle dog. How are you guys doing tonight?
We're doing well, but I am going to put this heavy dog down. Off you go, Bubba. He just wanted to say hi.
Yeah, I'm glad he did. Awesome. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for being part of our broadcast tonight and for taking the last seat in our broadcast, telling everybody about members' experiences and allowing people to share their stories. And I know you guys have your own stories as well. You've been with us for a while, and I know you have both come to events. Jim has also come to events. Your husband, Rocky, was your first dog, and he started coming, and then why am I blanking? Juniper.
Yep.
Yeah, I keep for some reason I keep getting Juniper and Paige mixed up, and I don't know why.
There's a reason for that.
They're both dark dogs, but that should.
Well, and they both have the same. Paige actually really seeing Allie and Paige is probably why we have Juniper, because she had a lot of the same issues and a lot of the same shyness. So we absolutely watch Allie with Paige and have been so impressed to see that progress. And that's why we were willing to take on a dog that had the same or similar shyness and insecurity and fears.
Well, I remember having a conversation with you guys early on when you first adopted Juniper that, you would know when she was ready. Like we would have conversations. We were talking about her coming on some of the smaller events like the pack adventures during the week. But you really had a good sense of when she was ready to come for the first time. And was that the one? That was the one in Epping, right? Was that her first pack adventure, as I recall?
I think so. I don't remember specifically where it was, but it was definitely one of the pack adventures.
And I think, was that the one where we went out to that big field?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was
her first one. Yeah. How did you feel? Like you had already come with Terry and Rocky, so obviously you knew, kind of how we are as an organization. But how was it coming for the first time with Juniper? Were you kind of nervous for that first time?
So I was kind of nervous only because there was a part of me that was doubting, am I doing this too quickly for her? Like, am I doing something that's going to set her way back, or is this really the time for her? So there was some of that nervousness there. And there's a little bit of that, those moments during the walk where she'd have a hard time and I'd be like, oh, did I make a mistake? But I mean, she did really well. And we left the walk, feeling that, yeah, this was good timing. And ever since then, every single walk she's been on, she's made more and more progress.
Well, and I heard from my husband that he even got to walk next to Juniper. Is that true? I am so jealous.
Yes.
So
several times now. She's become quite comfortable as long as we're moving.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because she's fine around other dogs, correct? It's people she's uncomfortable around. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
She doesn't understand people. She's still pretty nervous about them.
Yeah, actually, Gilly was a big part of why she was able to walk next to Ray, because Ray was walking Gilly, and she started to walk near Gilly because she was like, "Oh, another dog. I want to say hi." And then she looked over her shoulder and saw Ray. She was like, "Oh, there's a human attached with us." But honestly, I think, I've noticed she has an easier time being around people who have a dog with them.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, and I know we've seen her on several more events, weekend events, pack adventures. Sometimes you're there with just Juniper. Sometimes, Terry, you're there with Rocky. Sometimes Jim joins as well. So let's talk about Rocky now. He is the club ambassador. We know that. He is a Doggy Olympics winner. We know that. He loves ice cream. We know that.
Oh, yeah. 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 He loves. That's pretty much Rocky loves, period.
Well, he's a people person. He's a dog person. He's the best dog to meet at an event if you're coming for the first time and you need to do a social greeting, because he's just so easygoing. So it's we kind of say, Terry, is it okay if Rocky meets this new dog or whatever, if it's appropriate for a social greeting? So we appreciate his service and yours.
Well, I'll tell you, you guys are the only reason that we know that he's like that, because we adopted him not that long ago, just July, and he was an adult male, had been neutered late. We had no idea. You had a Mount Agamenticus walk coming up. Yep. I don't even know how I stumbled on it, but Aaron and I were like, oh, that sounds like fun. Let's go see how he does. And he did beautifully, and everybody was so friendly. You were so wonderful. And then Ray took another group on a slightly harder trail, and that lit Aaron's eyes up. And then we had to go get another dog because we couldn't
see where this leads to. Shame on us for making you get another dog.
Exactly. But so that was, the club for me is so huge, because it's an incentive to get out and because I love our home. We have a little hobby farm. I love being here, and I know if I didn't have an external incentive, we would probably just stay home all the time. But getting out with Rocky, getting Rocky out, he loves to explore and do new things and meet new dogs and meet new people and meet kids and try all this stuff. And it's so important for him. It fulfills something in him. And that's what the club does for me. We've met so many wonderful people and amazing dogs. But more than that, it gets me off my butt, gets me out of the house or off the farm anyhow. And on top of that, learning from Monica, learning from Laura, learning from Helen St. Pierre, learning from Dr. Boyer. It's been amazing to learn to just sometimes slow down. Let him just go and sniff as much as he wants in a field. Let him explore and dig and the sports sampler, Happy Ratter. Oh my Lord. Who knew?
I enjoyed that for sure.
Oh my word. We unlocked something. No, it's been absolutely amazing.
Awesome. Well, I'm so glad to have you guys as members. Do you guys mind if I share some of my favorite pictures of?
Oh, we love it.
Okay. All right. We'll show Aaron and Juniper first. So here, let me just remove my banner here so we can see these. So this was the last event you guys came to, the Winter Social. Oh my goodness, did we see her open up? She was having such a great time playing in the snow and jumping around and socializing with the dogs. I just love the picture that Ray caught there with the snow on her face as she was trying to, jump in and out of the snowbanks. It was so cute. And then the one here in the middle was a part of our Valentine's Day party with Canine Strong in Concord. And this is the massage part where Juniper is totally relaxed.
Yeah.
And getting a full body massage, which I know she loved. And then the one here on the right was Thanksgiving Day. It was a member only event. It was a What Are You Thankful For event. We went out to a special location with a beautiful setting over the pond. And we talked about the things that we're thankful for. And, you know, here she is out on that bridge. So I'm curious too, had you ever taken her across a bridge over open water?
I don't think we had. Honestly, I think she was more concerned about the people on the bridge than she was being on the bridge itself.
Too many other distractions going on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she did amazing. And there was quite a few people on that day. That was a good turnout.
Yeah.
Such beautiful weather. So,
yeah.
I mean, since that first day when we, that she attended the pack adventure, I've seen her come out of her shell. And I know Ray has too, because he's mentioned to me, he sees it as a high when he gets to walk next to her, because we know that, you know, when dogs are either nervous of other dogs or nervous of other people, and then things like that can take place throughout the event. You know, that comfort level increases. We love to see that. So
yeah, it's awesome. And especially because he is a man, she's much more nervous about men. So, and recently she was becoming more relaxed around Kelly also.
Oh, good.
Which was a huge for me, because he's a very tall man, which can be really intimidating, but she was walking near him as well without any concern or much.
Oh, fantastic. Okay. Well, that's great to know. All right. Well, let's take a look at the rock. Right. I love this picture with Cody. Oh my God, do I love this picture.
They are best buds, man.
Yeah, they were. This is one of our scavenger hunts that we did late last fall up at Settlers Green. We have a partnership with them where we do a fantastic scavenger hunt. And then we had lunch at Wicked by Fire, which is a restaurant up there in an enclosed space with a heated deck.
Yeah.
And they were just so cute under the Christmas tree there. And then our Olympian there showing off his medals that he won, which was fantastic. That was, he was wearing those at the ice cream social award ceremony that we had. And then here he is at the Mexican Independence Day trying to find the biscuit under the bowls as well. And then the costumes you guys had for Dover Dog Halloween. Just awesome. I love it. And now, did you guys win a prize as well?
We came runner up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We had an honorable mention.
And my grandson, that was a classic.
Yeah, that's my eldest grandson with us, and he just was.
Did he have fun
on air? Oh, he had so much fun.
Good.
Yeah.
I hope you guys do it again this year.
Oh, you know it.
Well, awesome, guys. I really appreciate you taking time with me tonight. This has just been a great 90-minute session of hearing people's stories and experiences. And, you know, congratulations, Terry, to you for being our first golden ticket winner. We'll see you at our end of the summer party. We appreciate everything that you've done to just be an awesome member of this community, make people feel welcome, and just so giving of yourself, putting us in touch with different collaborators, taking pictures, making people feel welcome in the community. So thanks for all that you do as well.
You know what it's like? You know, when you first fall in love and you want everybody to be in love? That's what I feel like. It's like, I love this club so much. I just want everybody to get the same experience that we do. But Rocky wanted to tell you that he didn't appreciate Dr. Boyer turning us onto that calorie counter.
Oh no!
He's a little disappointed about that.
Uh-oh, Rocky. I'm sorry. Don't be mad at me when we see you next.
We should see his tuck coming back pretty soon.
Well, you tell him once the snow's gone and the ice is gone and he gets out there more, you know, he'll be able to get a few more biscuits here and there. So
there you go.
Awesome. Well, you guys have a great night. Thanks again for taking time out of your evening.
You do the same. Thank you so much.
Bye, guys. So, guys, that's it. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. You got to learn a little bit about our members from the horse's mouth, as they say. We did have a few comments come in here that I wanted to flip up. So let's see. Michelle said, Laura and other trainers have been a huge help to us in our participation in your events. Gives me peace of mind. That was Michelle, who was the dog mom of Brutus, Ruby, and Fenway. Another person here says, this has been so helpful. I am excited to join. I have 2 leash reactive dogs, and hearing firsthand experiences of reactive dog owners makes me feel more comfortable. I will only bring 1 dog at a time with a goal of someday walking them together. If that doesn't happen, I'll be okay with that as well. So, it's just taking that first step and coming to an event. Like I said, you're not going to be judged. The majority of us have been there. Like I said, I have a reactive dog. I didn't know what to expect, and it was actually it was before COVID, so it must have been 2019. We were out scouting some trails, and I had put out a message on our Facebook page that we were out scouting some trails. Did anybody want to come along? And this person, Jamie, I remember she came out with her dog who was also reactive. We thought, hey, why don't we put 2 reactive dogs together and just see what happens? What could what's the worst thing that could happen? And it was so eye-opening. We actually made a live video on that day, which lives in the archives of the group, about the experience that we both had, because we didn't know what to expect. When they looked at each other, we knew that they were both uncomfortable, and they voiced their opinions to us. But when they were walking next to each other, it was so different. They were so comfortable. They were sniffing the same things. They weren't trying to turn around and look at each other. There was, they had a job, they were pointed for it, and they were just so very comfortable. So since that day, our team has really made a point of learning how can we be more welcoming and inclusive, and offering that safe environment for reactive dogs and their people, and all dogs and their people, but especially reactive dogs, because we're seeing more and more reactive dogs now that more and more people are rescuing. You're not knowing the history of the dogs, and you're also you may have had a pandemic puppy, and there's a whole other set of issues that come with those dogs. So we are learning more and more, working with our amazing partners, our dog trainers, our veterinarians, our communicators, our pet photographers, our canine fitness experts, to learn as much as we can and adapt our offerings, and make everything more inclusive to everybody. So tomorrow night we will actually be rolling out our membership packages. We'll be rolling out the costs. The doors will open on Sunday the 20th, the first day of spring. We'll be taking your questions tomorrow night as well, if you have them. And then all next week too, when the doors for the club are open, we'll be answering your questions, which we do tend to get a lot of as people, read through all the benefits that we have and learn about what we have to offer. So we'll be here both via email and coming to you live to answer those questions and make sure you get all the information that you need so that you can make the best decision for yourself and your furry family on joining our organization. So let's see if there's any other questions here. Somebody said, this was great. So many heartwarming stories. And another person said, yes, the trainers are awesome. So thanks, guys, for the comments. Thanks for staying tuned in for the 90 minutes. We had a good many of you watching during the entire time. We appreciate it. And if you have any questions as well between now and when the club closes, post them in the community. You can visit our website, our phone number, our email address is posted everywhere. Feel free to reach out at any time. But I will be coming to you live again tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. right after we finish our reactive dog support group to go over all of the great stuff that we're rolling out for 2022. So you guys have a great evening. Enjoy tomorrow's weather. It's going to be just as beautiful, and we'll see you tomorrow night. Thanks, everyone.